I love you.
I love you too.
I'm going shopping. I'll see you later.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
See you later too.
Don's cooking breakfast for him and Joey. Yum. Yep. Well, we have a light drizzle, but warm temps today. It's in the 60s. Michelle is meeting me up at Guardian Angel, and we're going to do our regularly scheduled weekend shopping. Can't wait. So I heard from Johnny that they're in Rome. Their flight had no problems. They made it on time. They are touring Rome City Center today. I think that also means Vatican City. So I've seen one picture of the group and one picture of John eating some sort of fruity ice cream confection. He looked very happy. So I am resting assured this morning that he's having a good time. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Why is it raining on shopping day again?
I know,
really?
Complain about that.
Yeah, but nothing else, right?
Right.
Look at how vintage that is. So they're all ready to help little girls find the perfect Easter Sunday dress. And they got some really nice looking ones too. You finding anything, girl?
I found this one for Ariel.
Oh wow, look at all the sparkles. Hey, everybody likes a pink flamingo.
Oh yeah, it's her favorite animal. As long as she doesn't bring it home, it's okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Sean with that.
Oh yeah. And then just a little cover up for the beach.
Cool.
That's it though, so far.
Well, we didn't find too much in there today. Like, no jewelry.
No.
Yeah, and
Maybe at Apex.
yeah, maybe.
I get dibs.
Yeah, you deserve dibs today. Alright, so I've got that new Autopilot update on, and I know you guys are going to want to be seeing how good it does for me today, so here goes nothing. Not much of a test here on this short stretch of road, but you know, hey, a good first little try. Well, she's going along just as smooth as she can be. I have no complaints. Like I said, this is not gonna test curves, and this is not the stretch of road where Dawn and I go to test the crest and her veering to the right or the left. We'll have to go on 401 either later today or tomorrow, but this is a good first test. You know, 4-lane divided highway. It's not an interstate, but it's should certainly be able to handle Autopilot. Went through that nice long intersection. I will say one of the intersections up here, sometimes it's so wide, she would veer to the right at one of those super intersections because there's a large gap in the paint. The intersection's just wider in between where the lanes are marked. So maybe in a minute we can see how she does going through there, because sometimes she would veer to the right and slip out of Autopilot. Michelle says, you test all you want, just don't miss Starbucks today.
Yeah,
don't miss the turn for
Don't
Starbucks.
drive past it now.
Is she going to brake? Yes. I did not hit the brakes.
Really?
She did that on her own. I was ready though, but she did. She picked up that stopped car and she stopped.
She brakes like I do.
Yeah, well, I think she was a little surprised. Now,
Yeah.
see, the only thing there is that had I hit the brake myself, I would have got more regen versus actually wear and tear on the brake pad. So, yeah, in traffic sometimes should be enough to... Whoops, I had to take her out there. She started to go to the left. Well, that's a really funny marking there. There's those dotted lines and they come together.
Oh.
And she didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't like it at all. I really
All
like
right,
those.
I am now officially freezing and have had to put my jacket on.
When I asked Alexa the forecast this morning, she says it was 58 and the high was going to be 63 and it was going to be partly cloudy and wet. That means short sleeves today. 63 for me is short sleeves. And since I've left the house, it's dropped like 5 or 8 degrees, which she did not say it was going to do. And I'm now freezing. It's 47. I knew snowflakes were in the forecast for tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. I really like these totally different flower people. They're so cool. Gotta get those. I'm picking up 4 of these. I've got a Corel purple iris pattern I want to use, and I think these will match it nicely. It will be prom time before we know it.
Yeah.
The bridal doll, the bridal bouquet, or the bridal dress. It's not fair. She finds all the good tops. Michelle and I decided we'd do Chinese for lunch today, and oh my God, look at the food. Well, it worked out just perfectly that we had only just a couple bags of groceries this week since Dawn and I shopped yesterday, because we have this storage container back here. But that's the plan. Everything worked out beautifully. Well, Dawn said yesterday or the day before that it tried to steer him into the median there, and I'd have to say for me it behaved on this new update just fine.
You know why?
So that's a good test there.
Yep. She likes you better.
She didn't get confused there either, and there was a spot where the lines went away, so that was good. This is a little more of a strain, right? This is not an interstate highway. This is a 2-lane road with some funky markings to delineate separation of the cars, so
It is.
So let's see what she does with this intersection here. This is a weird I don't think she's going to be able to say, because the intersection veers to the left. There's the car. What's she going to do? Wow, she did that. She did that crazy intersection. I had both hands at 9 and 3 ready to move her, but I didn't have to do anything. That's pretty impressive. She went through, because I found before with intersections with no markings that are really wide, even if it's straight, was a problem, and there you had to kind of jog to the left. I'm sure it helped I would hope she's using the car in front to help understand. Well, we had a good day. Sorry to see it's over, but I sure am glad we got to go. Hey, you been working yourself? You just back from your run?
Back from my run. I had to cut down a tree that fell across the driveway.
Yeah, it's a dogwood. I seen it leaning the other day. Looked like it was leaning, it had died, huh?
All the way down, yeah.
Aww. Don and I are going to take Ruby out, and we're going to test that spot on 401 where she always dips at the top of the hill.
Yep.
And a couple other things on Autopilot. And I liked what Derek did with his videos where he showed the driver, the Autopilot, and the camera, the dash cam all at the same time, so you could really get a good feel. So it's really kind of hard to record what's in front of the steering wheel there on the driver's dash, but we'll do the best we can and practice and see if we can't do something pretty positive.
So we're in Autopilot in 5 p.m. traffic in Fuquay, which is, not as bad as other places, but it's still traffic, and we're seeing how things are handled with the new 10.4 Autopilot fix. I'd still say it accelerates a little fast. I've got the following distance set to 2. Now it's down to 1. I would say that it still accelerates faster than it should. It doesn't, you know, I would prefer, you know, right now it's following pretty good, I would say, the car in front.
We're not in chill mode. We know we can tamp down that acceleration a little bit if you were in chill mode.
Well, Bjorn was saying something about that it was, he felt like it was a little smoother. And I don't know. I can't tell yet. I would say at this point, the stop and go traffic following is not what I'd call smoother. I wouldn't call it bad. Just I wouldn't call it, I can't detect the difference. There must be a closed lane up here because everybody's trying to get over. Yeah, I see the flashing lights now.
And obvious, actually from our lane we've got to move to the other lane, so we'll have to get out of autopilot here for a minute.
Alright, so we're coming up on our place where Ruby always dives to the right or dives to the left. Hopefully on the dash cam you can see it. In fact, I'm going to speed up to 60, which is normally what I do. And we're getting right to the top, and right about here is where she goes to the right or to the left. And I would say she did that perfect.
Yeah, I didn't feel her shimmy at all.
I could, because I had my hands on the steering wheel, I could feel the steering wheel, but it wasn't a hard correction. It was just the normal movement of the autopilot steering wheel response. So I would call that a total success. That was a little emergency braking that truck pulled out, and you know, Ruby saw it. And the thing always amazes me is that she picks up that he's now in the other lane. We're going back into Fuquay now. As luck would have it, we did a U-turn, so we the cars from the traffic light had all gone by, so we've got a little gap in the traffic here. So you know, this side of the road going back into town, she's always been really smooth and handled it pretty well. This is a rise right here, but it's not that abrupt like on the other side going the other direction. You can see she's just like dead in the middle of of course this is a dead straight road, but you can see she's dead in the middle of the road. She's not wandering back and forth. She's, you know, I think Autopilot 2, as far as staying in the middle lane, has done a reasonably good job.
So Don and I will get back in Ruby over the next couple of days, and I'm sure we'll report here and there when we see Autopilot doing something good, or even if it does something bad. I guess I thought that was awesome the way she handled that crest up on 401 today, but I want to see her do it in bright sunlight and you know, do it repeated several times past, and her handle it well, because I've noticed sometimes Autopilot, depending on shadows on the road or how bright or dull the light is,
right,
car in front or not in front. I'm just trying to say that one pass through and she handled it well, to me, is not enough to say we're good to go for every other time we would ever go through that location.
Yeah, but that was the first time, other than maybe following somebody, that she did that well. Yeah,
so I mean, I'm sure she will, but I also want to see her repeat it a little bit. I'm hesitant to say if we've only tried it one time, right?
Right, I agree.
Yeah,
well, I'll be interested to find out if some people speculated that it's using more cameras now. In other words, instead of just the windshield camera, if it's using maybe using the side cameras now. Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll have to get out on the actual interstate and do some lane changes and some other things to see how we think she's performing there too.
Yep. I agree. Way cool.